Hey guys, it's T. Today I'm going to show you how to recreate the look of bleaching with Photoshop. You can see in this example, inside the stamped image, it's lighter, just as if we had embossed this image and applied bleach to cardstock. Well, this is a digital card, so let me show you how you can do that in Photoshop. You're going to start by opening a new document. Now, I happen to have a preset for card front, but you can put yours in. It's 4.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall, and I always work with a 300 pixels per inch resolution because I'm going to print my images. If I'm going to put it on the web, I can reduce that later. Click OK, and your new document is going to open. You can zoom in a little bit. We're going to fill the background with any color. I happen to like blues. We'll go with that. And then now we're going to create a new layer on top of that. If you look down at your layers menu, you'll see this little button right here that looks like a post-it peeling up. Click on that and we've got a new layer right on top. With the new layer selected, see that it's highlighted here, we're going to choose a digital stamp. Now those are brushes in Photoshop, and I happen to have some loaded that are called Botched Ornament, and you can find them on DeviantArt.com. This little set is they have some of my favorites in here. They're just really cool and grunged out and funky. We're going to go with this one. And you can see that I've got mine set to do the outline of the stamp. So that lets me know how big it is. And I know that I want to make this larger because it's going to become a big focal point on the back of my cardstock. Not quite that big. Right in the middle. Right there. There are several ways that you can increase and decrease the size of your stamps. Now I want to stamp this in black, and if you look, I still have my blue selected. I can press D on my keyboard and it instantly goes back to the default settings. And I'm going to click once to stamp it. And then just so that I don't have this in the way, I'm going to go ahead and select a different brush so that I can point to things without that big blinking botched ornament there. We are going to fill in these areas with bleach now. We're going to work on the background layer. So you go back to your layers palette and make sure that the background layer, whatever color you filled it in with, is selected. And we're going to use the dodge and burn tools to modify this. They are in your menu. My menu's on the left side. Yours could be somewhere else, but you're going to be looking for a burn tool. It looks like somebody's got their hand pinching something. And that burn tool, what that does, oh no, sorry, we're going to start with the dodge tool. The dodge tool will lighten an area. And so we're going to zoom in right on where we're working, and you can see the outline of my brush again. I'm going to increase the size, and I'm just using the straight brackets left and right to increase and decrease the size of my brush while I'm working. Now I've got it selected up here on the options to be mid-tones, and I brought the exposure down to about 40%. You can bring this all the way up and do a streak of white through it, but I like to go over it several times. It gives me a better shading effect. You can see that it just makes a very little bit of change there, and I can have lighter areas and darker areas as I go through and circle that area and get a bright bleached effect. And then I can also, because it's so light, fade it out into some of these other areas of the design. Now, I'm probably going to fast forward this for you so you don't have to sit and watch me color this in. So here we go. Okay, now with just a few more little touches, you can certainly make this look like you have embossed and bleached this. The last thing that I would do to this is add the embossing. So I'm clicking on my layers palette and selecting the stamped image now. You can see when I tuck it away, that's all that we've got back there. Without the stamp, it's no good. So we're going to double click it, and that's going to bring up the layer style menu, and we are going to emboss. So you click on bevel and emboss, and we're going to change that to emboss. And you can change the depth to get the look that you want. But once we've embossed that, it truly looks like we stamped this image and then bleached it. Isn't that cool? Okay, hi again. I'm going to show you how to do it a different way, this time with enclosed images. And to save time, I already have a background area filled. I already have my stamp in there. And it also comes from DeviantArt, and that's the information on it. You can see that this stamp has an enclosed inside clear area where the color is showing through. And that's the area we're going to be working with. So we need to select that. The fastest way I've found to do it is to make sure that you are on your postcard layer or the stamped layer, and you're going to hold Control on Windows or Command on Mac and click on the stamped image itself in the layer palette. Now it's selected. We want to inverse that. You can hit Select, Inverse to do so, and the clear inside and outside the stamp is now selected. Well, we want to remove the selection of the clear outside the stamp. To do that, we're going to use the magic wand. Make sure that Subtract from Selection is the option that we have checked here. Tolerance can be pretty low or high. It doesn't really matter because we're working with clear. But we want to make sure that Contiguous is checked. And then we just click outside the stamped image, and you can see that what's left is only the clear area that was inside the stamped image. Now we want to bring that into a new layer of color. So we select the background layer where your designer paper is, your color, whatever you are working on at that point. And we're going to make the selection into a new layer. We can do that by pressing Control on Windows or Command on Mac and J, and the selected information pops up into a new area. We want to change that blending mode to screen, and instantly we have a bleached area inside very fast. If it's too bright, you can use opacity to slide it down to whatever you want it to be. And then if you want to go in and have some lighter areas or darker areas, you can again go back to your dodge and burn tools. Dodge will lighten and burn will darken. And that's it. Go out, do some digital bleaching, guys. See you next time. Bye.